ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ। ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ। ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ। ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ। ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ। हवाए बंदगी आवर दार वजूद मरा वगर नह ज़ौक़े चुनी आमदैन नमूद मरा। पूल छिमो हमरी प्रभापन पूलनहार कहाँ को मोसो। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। Last week we started an introduction and the JAPJI. Today we will take a step forward and see what Guru Sahib says in the initial letters of the JAPJI, the Mool Mantra. Mool Mantra in real understanding means the root mantra, the Bij Mantra, what lies at the core. Actually, if there is a discussion on God, it is not possible to describe God. We can look at the qualities which Guru Sahib discusses about God. But the understanding of who is God, what is God, is not a mere exchange of words. It's an experiential process. And to understand what this is, we try and understand what Guru Sahib says about the JAPJI. In the JAPJI, he is telling us the way forward to understand, know, and to meet God. And that doesn't happen in my thoughts. In my thoughts, I roam in the world view which I have seen, which I feel, which my senses give me. In my thoughts, I live my ego world. The ego world is a part of my world, part of the whole world, not the complete world. And the ego world is transient, temporary, and it's not permanent. So therefore, in one context, the ego world is false, where sometime that ego will not be there. But just as there is always exceptions to the rule, there is an exception to this rule as well. He who meets his creator, he who has found his source, he or she who has found his or her source, has merged with it. In the JAPJI, Guru Sahib uses the word samaya. समा गया, रेस्ट हो गया, found rest, found peace, found cessation of wandering, found a meeting which never will now turn into a separation, found an experience which is not a tragedy, but a celebration. Shakespeare talks about a world where all the world is a stage and all men and women are mere players. And in this paragraph he ends the line in a tragedy, where man ends his life, sans teeth, sans ears, sans eyes, in mere oblivion, he says. That's the tragedy. But in Guru Nanak's world, there is no such tragedy. Because the Shakespeare's world is defined by the ego world, by the identity world, by the persona, so to say, in the Greek terms, where the persona is a face mask in a theater, in the Greek theater. The word personality comes from there. So these are all parts of the play which we are all playing, not forever. We play these roles in life, and Shakespeare describes them in 7 planes. They may be infinite planes. We play infinite roles in this life. But it's always through the ego, through the identity. A father sends his child to learn in a Gurukul. And after some years he comes back and the father asks him, "What have you learned?" And the child has learnt a lot. So he describes mathematics, the languages, the writings, the courses, the different Veds, whatever he had learnt. It was a long discussion, and the father tells him, "I think you should go back. I sent you to learn that which cannot be spoken about. Everything you tell me can be described, can be seen, can be touched, can be written about. But I sent you to learn that which cannot be seen. I sent you to know that which cannot be touched. I sent you to experience that which has no conditions. I sent you to reveal within yourself that which is forever." Guru Nanak Sahib Maharaj calls this Ik Omkar. There may be a million words or even infinite words to address God. But there is only one way to know Him, and that is love. In every step of Guru Nanak's Bani, in every paudi which he brings forth to us, he talks about a meeting within the mind. The man where the meeting takes place, of a state of being he calls Naam, and that which is part of the entire creation, that which lies at the root of all creation. And this Naam is unconditional love, unconditional happiness, and a celebration which awaits us all if we walk the path of the JAPJI. Whatever role we may play, howsoever we may play it, those are all identity roles. But our identity rests on a fulcrum, on an unchanging world. Just like that which turns a wheel, the center of the wheel has to be stationary. So is life. That which never changes, on that rests our identity. So we should ask this question, why can't I see God? I think that's a relevant question. In a very beautiful parable in the Guru Granth Sahib, Maharaj says, "Tu daryao sab tuj hi maahe, tuj bin tuja koi na hai." There is none other than one. The whole experience of life is this one. And our whole struggle, our whole pressure, our whole confusion, chaos, our sadness, our pain comes from separation from this one. We don't know it within ourselves. But this separation is our pain. This is the reason we are lost. And we are trying to seek this one in our experiences of our personality. That which is within me, I'm trying to experience it on the outside. And that causes the conflict. Like somebody who has a jewel within his bag and is wandering all over the place for wealth, begging everyone, asking everyone, shouting in pain, seeking the answers which lie within his bag, within himself, within his own reach. Maharaj talks about a world which is unified, not divided. It's the divisive world we live in. We only know the world through the divisiveness of it. Otherwise, we can't experience it. We know rich because there's poor. We know good because there's bad. We know high because there's low. We know happiness because there's sadness. These are all dualities. So when the one finds his experience, his or her experience in this world, it comes in this duality form. Guru Nanak calls it Kudrat, Doi Kudrat Sajiye, Kar Asan Ditto Chao. And then God resides with a lot of ras, flavor, a lot of joy in this duality itself. But we can't find him, we can't know him, we can't touch him, we can't see him. We will go to Guru Amar Das. Why can't we see him? Guru Amar Das says, "E netro an se, Satgur miliye div drisht hoi." These eyes are blind. But when we meet the Guru, Guru blesses us with something which he calls div drisht, which we, in the West world, they call it the third eye. Or let me say, the eyes of the man. The mind is a very bad word for describing only the man. Man seems so much deeper, so I will use the word man. I don't like the word mind as a direct relation to man. It doesn't seem apt. So the man, how do we see? We see through our eyes? No, we don't. The eyes are our tool to see. Somebody can walk in front of us and say, "You didn't see me. I was in front of you." And we will say, "Sorry, I was not. My attention was somewhere else. My dhyan was somewhere else." So the dhyan is the road to the man. The dhyan is the energy center of the man. The dhyan is the collective energy of the man. And we see through that man, and we hear through that man. If I am attentive, I will listen. If I am not, I will not be able to listen. So we don't see through these eyes, and we can't see God through these eyes. But Guru says, once you meet the Guru. The Guru provides us an experience of the Man, which he calls the Surat. Surat is the focused mind, so to say, the focused energies of the Man, not divided, not in conflict, but in oneness, in the Ik Omkar. And Guru connects those to the beyond my personality, to beyond my identity. And that's when I can see. I can't see the way we are thinking we can see, but I can feel. I can experience. And there is no I there. So in perceptive understanding, I never meets God. The I has to be dropped to meet God. God is an experience for which the I can be used as a tool, but the I has to be given up to experience that energy of the Creator. Just like someone would go seeking the source of the Ganga. While he's going there, his man drops because he's going at such a distance, he's thinking so much. His thinking drops. The traveling itself unravels the mind. So that was why people used to go to seek the source of the rivers in olden times. It was actually just seeking yourself. What is my source? Ik Omkar, Guru Nanak Sahib says, is my source. And my source is a vibrant energy center of love, happiness, and foreverness. So when Guru says Samaya, he is merged with the entire Creator, with the creation itself. So if I ask, where is Guru Nanak today? The answer will be, he is everywhere. There is no place where Guru Nanak is not. There is no place where Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Sache Paatshah is not. Everywhere. And how can I meet Ik Omkar? I can meet the Guru. How can I meet the Guru? Is the question which is posed in the JAPJI and is answered in the entire Guru Granth Sahib. Kiv sachiara hoiye, kiv kude tutte pal. How do I become truth? How do I become? Is the volume low? एक बारी check कर लो please. Is the volume low? Should I need to increase it? So, let me try and increase the volume. If it's better now, please let me know. I have brought it closer. So, the Samaya means that he is ever present. The creation and the Creator are literally one. They are not two. In the Anand Sahib, Guru Amar Das Maharaj brings out many facets to us, and one of them is about birth. And he tells us, Jaisi agan udar mein, taisi bahar maya. Maya agan ikko jehi, karta khel rachaya. As is the heat in the womb which nurtures us, so is the Maya outside. And this is a khel This is a Leela which the Creator has brought about. So, to my understanding, to Guru's explanation about life, if I see God everywhere, then there will be no world for me the way I look at it. So God can be felt, can be met within the man, while the outside world still exists the way it is. But in another explanation, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Maharaj says, "Jaise ek aag te kanuka कोट आग उठे, न्यारे न्यारे होए के फिर आग में मिलाएंगे। जैसे एक धूड़ ते अनेक धूड़ पूरत है, धूड़ ते कनुका फिर धूड़ ही समाएंगे। जैसे एक नद ते तरंग कोट उपजत है, पान के तरंग सभी पान ही कहाएंगे। तैसे विश्वरूप ते अभूत पूत प्रगट होए, ताहे ते उपज सभी ताहे में समाएंगे." He says, like in the fire, the flames come out and separate from the fire and merge back in the fire. Like in the water, the droplets separate from the water. Like in dust, the dust particles separate from the dust and merge back into the dust. Just like that, the creation is an expression of the Creator and will merge back in the Creator. But those that have found Him within living being, those that have found Him within his living body, their identity doesn't get destroyed. Though they merge with Him, they are always there. So there lies the difference. The transient life is transcended into something which is beyond death, and which is a celebration, unconditional love. Maharaj used the word ik. There is only one. Tu daryao sab tuj hi maahe. Everything is within you. That means within me, without me, everywhere, there is one Creator. That means all of us are part of one vibrant energy. That means that I am actually a temporary player in this theater of the world. But that who has created this world offers his merging within me as a permanent expression of my life. That the Creator is no separated from me. That if I meet Guru Gobind Singh Sahib, I will feel him everywhere. Within me, without me, there is one continuum existence. Any other form of expression in words of this Ik Omkar are mere words. But to live it, to know it, to experience it, is so sublime that it can't be narrated in words. And that's the invitation of the JAPJI. That is the invitation of Guru Nanak Sahib. That is the calling of Guru Nanak Sahib Maharaj to meet the one who has created us and to let all the divisiveness fall away. Na ko Hindu, na Musalman. Tear away all the walls between us and to celebrate that one by knowing that one. I can do this exercise of saying, I see him everywhere, imagine it. That's an imagination. It may help, but it's not experiential. The experience of the Creator lies within me when I can meet the Guru. Sab mein jot, jot hai soe. Tis de chanan, sab mein chanan hoye. Everywhere and in every one of us resides the light of the Creator, Jyot. So the inner being is not darkness. The inner being is sublime light. The inner being is a vibrant light, energy. That's our soul. Outside world is darkness. Primarily in the entire universe, the outside world is darkness. There is light only where there is a star or there is a galaxy. Maharaj says, Sab mein jyot, jyot hai soe, tis de chanan, sab mein chanan hoye. But how to meet him, Maharaj? Gur sakhi, jyot pargat hoye. If you meet the Guru, this becomes a conscious experience. That which was lying in the ocean's depth, hidden away, and leaving everything in darkness, and thinking me to be also completely dark. But meet the Guru, and the Jyot is pargat, is revealed, is lived. Lived the joy, lived the love, lived the energy Jyot, Ik Omkar, Satgur Prasad. Ik is a numeric word. It's absolute. And in some ways so apt, because in every other numeric, Ik exists. One will exist in every numeric of the world, and one is everywhere. So in every number you pick up, one exists in it. It lies at the root of everyone, every number. Such is creation. The Creator lives at the root of all creation. However, I will find or try and seek this Creator only when I am in pain. If I am not in pain, I would not seek. Most of us. So, the pain may actually be my solution to the world. Because the pain makes me seek, makes me search, makes me want, makes me hungry, makes me desperate at times. The sorrow which I feel could be my light. Dukh daru, sukh rog paya. So Guru says the healing can happen when you're pain. But we must know how to convert it. That is our attitude. So what is the conversion? If the pain is met with the ego, then I will always question, why me? Why God did this to me? Why it happened to me? But if the pain is met with love, then I will let it heal me and seek within myself. Because the solutions of life, the answers of life lie beyond the I. If I am seeking a solution to the world, it doesn't lie within I. It lies beyond the I. And Ik Omkar is an experience beyond the ego, beyond my conditioned world, beyond my senses world, beyond my physical world in some ways. However, the physical world is a tool for that. However, the ego is a tool for that. So let us not negate any part of life. Because if you throw the bath with the baby water, baby with the bath water, that would be our story. What are we seeking? To understand who am I in the core of me. And then when I'm in pain, I do what? I seek this I seek this solution to myself. I seek the answers to why I'm in pain. When I try and deny the world, I say, I don't want to be part of this world. It's painful for me. Maharaj says, Ik Omkar, Ik, there is one, there is only one. So you, me, and everybody else, who are we? Who am I, Maharaj? How do I relate to this I? The question to be asked is, what is the creation of the world? Kit kit bid jag upje purkha, kit kit dukh binas jai. The two questions may be relevant to us. Maharaj, in the Siddh Gosht, Siddhs have asked Maharaj, Kit kit bid jag upje purkha. How does the world come about? Kit kit dukh binas jai. How does pain go away? Maharaj says, Haume vich jag upje purkha. From the ego, the world is created. Because the ego is formed, the world is created. If there is no ego, there will be no world. Kit kit bid jag upje purkha. Kit kit dukh binas jai. How does the pain go away? Maharaj says, Naam visariye dukh pai. Going away from the state of Naam, we find pain. Bhai Nandlal Goa, he asked this question, Gamche Bashad, Gaflat as Yad Khuda. Gamche Bashad, what is the reason for gam, for pain? Gaflat as Yad Khuda. Not remembering God, my creator, my source, is the reason for my pain. This ik exists everywhere. I exist as a duality, as part of creation. That's how creation has come about. So I exist in different planes as a temporary reality, not a permanent one. So I'm not permanent. My ego is transient. But through this ego, I can experience that which is permanent. Haume kitthon upje, kit sanjam hai jaye. Haume eho hukum hai, paiye kirt phiraye. Ego is the Creator's order, and through which every one of us is wandering. Haume dirag rog hai, daru bhi isma hai. This is the illness, the disease at the core of us all, the disease of separation from our own Creator. And the solution lies within this ego itself. Daru bhi isma hai. Kirpa kare je apni, ta gur ka shabad kamaye. If he gives us Gur Prasad, blesses us, his karam, then we can earn a connection to the Shabad. And while living this world, we can experience that which is beyond this world, at the core of this world, at the core of ourselves, at the core of all our being. Maharaj talks about Ik Omkar, Ik Omkar. Om, the primal word, which was often described in three. Om, three words, letters A, O, M. The creator, preserver, the destroyer. That is how it was understood. But Maharaj says there is only one. There is none other. Even you and me are transient. So in our mind state, there are four states of mind: Jagrat, Supan, Sukhopat, Turiya. Awakened mind state, where we transact with the world. Supana, dream state. Sukhopat, the deep dream state, the deep sleep state, beyond the REM, random eye movement sleep. Where there is movement, there is a sleep, a part of sleep where there is no movement of the mind. That is the Thiravastha, where we connect to our own connection. That's how you and me and all of us get energized in sleep. In this form, the REM movement removes away our experiences, the worldly experiences, makes our mind lighter, and then we connect in the Supan Sukhopat Avastha. We connect to our source, unconsciously, unaware. The moment we make this experience conscious, that's the Sant. I was with an immensely powerful spiritual personality, stayed with him for many years, and he used to describe Sant, jisne ant sama liya, one who has found an answer to his end. So, Maharaj talks about the fourth state also, Turiya, where there is no I. Turiya is where there is no ego, where there is no transient world, where there is no changing world. Turiya is the state where God is, Creator is. Ik Omkar. Om, the three elements as were known, Guru Sahib said there's only one. So all the three are actually one. Channelized in different forms. The creation is happening from him, preservation is happening from him, and destruction is also through him. So there is only one energy in the entire universe. There is no two. So in this way, Guru Nanak Sahib's thought ideology is different from Christianity, who says Saturn is a separate energy. Maharaj says the existence of the other is only the existence of the ego. The ego separates us. And it's a falsehood. It's a wall of falsehood. Kood. Kiv sachiyara hoiye, kiv kude tutte pal. The wall of falsehood, how does it fall away? How does my ego drop? How do I go beyond myself in the spirit world? How do I experience the Anand which exists in creation? Anand roop ravyo sab madde jatkat pe khujai. Maharaj explained to us, what is the way for me? Where is my meeting my Guru? Where is the meeting within me which is not going to end in any separation? I am so fearful because everything which I have, I will one day lose. Whether it is wealth, whether it is experience, whether it is status, whether it is any other knowledge which I have in the worldly sense. The body will take away everything which gives me. This home, the jivan of the ego, the life of the ego ends in all of it going away, and only the remnants of it remain in my man, the seeds which are in my man for all my past lifetimes. So in one of the Shabads, Maharaj says, Kot janam ke dukh gavayo, Sant janam in har jas gayo, Kot janam ke dukh gavayo. The pain of thousands of lifetime, crores of lifetime go away when you sing his praise, when you sing his praise with love. So the JAPJI Maharaj will talk about love. He will say, what is the language of God? Pakhya pao apar. Love is the language of God. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Sache Paatshah says the same thing in a different way. Sahaj kahun mein sun leho sabe, jin prem kiyo tin hi prab payo. The 10th Guru Nanak is the same energy as Guru Nanak himself. Same energy transacting through different identities of life, but always connected within. Even when they are giving up their body, Guru Arjan Sahib, the first Shaheed, he is not blaming anyone. His entire experience is with the One. So we were talking about this the other day in another session in Seesganj. Bhai Das, Doe tante japji pade, dekhat sab archarj bade. He is singing the JAPJI, narrating the JAPJI with both parts of his body. He's being sawed into two. He's not saying, why me? He's not saying, why this is done to me? Because he's experiencing the same love, the same anand, the same happiness which he was experiencing before. He is connected to the One. We are not. So the Ik Omkar is not experiential for me. Maharaj talks about Om, the three. And then he says that Kar, Omkar, that creator resides within its own creation uninterruptedly, seamlessly, seamless in space, time and cause. I'll just give you a small example. It's not in any reflection on the Creator's being, we cannot be. But from astronomy we know that our blood has iron in it. That iron makes us live. That's how life is formed with us all. The exchange takes place in the iron. And if we have less iron, then we feel weaker. Our hemoglobin is low. Where is this iron created? It's not created on the sun. It's not created on earth. Iron is an element which are the heavy elements. They are created only in a supernova. When a star is dying, and the star mass has to be above a certain number of solar masses, say 5, 7, 3, I don't know exactly. But when that star dies, there is enough temperature for these elements to be born, which is iron. So you and me live the iron which was created in a supernova millions and billions of light years away in space and millions of billions of light years away in time. That's the iron between us all. And that connects the entire human race and even the animal world. Just an example. The Ik Omkar cannot be talked about in words, but can be felt in love, can be experienced in going beyond myself, in going into what Guru Nanak Sahib Maharaj calls hukam. Gurmukh nadan, Gurmukh vedan, Gurmukh raya samai. Maharaj says Gurmukh is right at the pinnacle of all nads, all Veds, all knowledge. He is aware of the entire creation. And he rests in Creator himself. Gurmukh raya samai. We need that samai. We need that rest. We are seeking that, merging with that energy. And that is our entire conflict, coming out in different aspects of the physical world, which we try and understand as symptoms. But they are only symptoms. They are not the real disease. The real disease is a separation from my own source. So then the river gets clogged, it becomes dirty, it becomes murky. So is my man like that. And I can't see what's in the man, what's lying inside. And there may be something really dramatically nice, but I can't see it. And the other thing I can't do is rest my mind. Because there's so much seeking outside that I don't sit silent for even a minute. I don't sit quietly and let my thoughts fall. And we all think, how can I go within myself? The question is asked, Kiv satyara hoiye, kiv kude totte paal. One of the answers is, chalte ho man rakhe, amrit chakhe. Stay away from the moving mind and you will partake Amrit. Amrit being love, happiness, unconditional within me. Chalteo man rakhe amrit chakhe. Thir ghar baiso har jan pyare. Sit stable and silent. Satgur tumre kaaj savare. And all the solutions will come to you. Sit in silence of myself. The Sufis call it the 11th direction. The sound of silence is love, is happiness, anand. So Omkar, the kar, ik Omkar, is the ever-present energy without which creation cannot be. And I can only understand it, know it, if I can know the Creator's order, the hukam. We will go into that in the JAPJI itself. Understanding of what is hukam, what is naam, and how do we find this naam. Ek Omkar, Sat Naam. Sat, the way it is written here, actually means Satya, truth. So, that which is temporary, that which is not permanent, that which is constantly changing is not truth. In the definition of truth in the spiritual world, truth is stable forever, never changes, exists forever. Is the Creator Himself, is the only truth in this world. We can be part of that truth when we get connected to Him or her. And when we get separated from Him or her, the creation, when we are separated from them, then Maya exists. Then we live some imaginary world which is not really true forever. It may be true in specific roles. It may be true in specific times. So the family is true in its own self, in its own plane, but it's not permanently true. We lived many families. There's a Greek poet I once read. He said, I've fought many battles, many wars, but always as me. That's us. We fought many battles, many lives, many relationships, many families, but always as me. We come to a family, become us. When we depart, is only me. We live as us, or even then gets conflicted also. Within the family there are conflicts. But we live, ultimately always depart as me. So when we depart as me, I come as me, only meet temporarily in the middle, as us. So there, even love, those loves have been celebrated in this world who have actually culminated beyond the physical world. Heer, Ranja, Sassi, Punnu, those have gone beyond the physical. Laila, Majnu. The story of Majnu, it says he was last seen standing next to a tree when he saw Laila's marriage procession pass by, and he was never seen after that. So the parable, the myth says that the sound from the tree, when the wind used to pass from through within it, is Laila. When a lover merges with his loved and loses him or herself, becomes eternal. So that is spiritual love. And the only true love in this world is spiritual love. Often enough people find it from the physical root also. There are many husband wives we see have lived so close. When one departs, the other goes within a few days. They've merged as a spirit, become one. Ek jyot doye murti. If you really look at the lama which we have in the Guru Granth, it's about spiritual meeting. Because the spiritual meeting has no departure, has no separation, has a celebration in its core. Atam ras. Atam ras jeh janiye, so hai Khalas Dev. Prabh mein, moh mein, taas mein, ranchak nae na ped. Maharaj defines the Khalsa as he who has found his Atam ras. He calls him Khalas Dev, Devta. नर ते उपज स्वर्ग को जीत्यो, तिन मानस ते देवते किए करतना लागी वार. That is the creation. That is the karamat of the Shabad. Tin manas te devte kiye. Kartana lagi var. Doesn't take time. Time is not relevant here. Commitment is. एक पल जन एक क्षण ते आयो, काल फास के बीच ना आयो. With completeness, even for a minute. एक पल. One moment of complete emergence, complete dhyan in the Shabad can reveal everything in less than a fraction of a second. That's how and when it will happen. It will be in that fraction of a second. The rest is all preparation for me to go beyond my ego. I am not ready to leave it. I am not ready to withdraw my energies from my identity and to submit it to my Guru, so I never meet my Guru. That's because of my attitude. Kiv satyara hoiye, kiv kude tutte pal. Sat, Sach has the root word as, that which is, that which will always be. When there is no creation, will be. And the only truth in this world is represented through its naam, through seeking it, through going beyond the ego. The naam exists beyond the ego, beyond myself. In the space within my mind, where there is no divisions, there is one ekagar man. So Guru Arjan Sahib Maharaj says, Prabh ki ustat karo sant meet, savdhan ekagar cheet. If you want to meet Prabh, the Creator, sing His creations, His ustat. Savdhan, attention, ek chit, and with one mind, not dual mind. One mind is not divisive mind, it's not moving mind. It's the man in dhyan. That's the reason why we read the JAPJI every day, but we never experience the bliss which is in it. Because our dhyan is somewhere else. It's not in Satnam. Guru connects us beyond our ego. We can't go beyond our ego ourselves. If it was in my hands, then it is my work, within me. So then the Creator is subservient to me, to the I. But it's not within my being. I cannot do this. Guru can and Guru will. If we go towards the Guru, go towards his Bani, go towards his Shabad, then Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib tells us, Kat hi khojo pai. Seek within yourself. And Guru and Bhagat Kabir says, Tuk dam karari jo karo hazir hazur khudai. You can see, feel him hazir, present. If even for a minute, tuk dam karari jo karo. Stabilize your mind for a second, for a fraction, for a moment. Hazir hazur khudai. Khuda is present before us. Where do I seek? Bande khoj dil har roz. Seek within your man. Go beyond your thoughts. The curtain of thoughts is a curtain which is fallen from the light within me. It's the curtain which confuses me. The curtain of my thoughts make me lose my way. I don't see what is in front of me. I'm just thinking, and I'm lost in my thoughts. I don't see. I don't stop for a moment. I don't rest. I become a slave to my own life. It's sapping me of my energy. It's not letting me focus on that which really is and what really is. In a beautiful line, Guru Bhagat Kabir says that there is a darya, a river flowing within you. Asman mein aane lehang darya. Asman, dasam dwar, the dasam dwar state of being. Lehang darya, there is a river. Gusal kardan bood, have a bath in that river. Gusal khana. You remember in our young age we heard this word gusal khana. It's a Persian word. Gusal kardan bood. Bathe in this river. What is this river, Maharaj? It's the river of Anand. It's a river full of vibrant love. It's not physical, it's spiritual. It's borderless, seamless, infinite. Guru Nanak Sahib Maharaj invites us to this experience in the JAPJI, where the Shabad can reveal to us the presence of the Nirankar, the formless being. So Omkar also has an expression of Sakar and Nirakar, that which is formless and that is which is in form. There is actually one, there is no two. We see the world as divisions, as different states of divisions, but there is no division. The creation is all one. Ek Omkar Satnam. We will go further in the Mool Mantra in the next session. But what we want to feel is the love of Guru Nanak Sahib Maharaj and the presence. And that is felt within us. So allow me to end today's session. Ek Omkar Satnam. And we will start from the rest of the Mool Mantra in the next week. Of course, the Ek Omkar can't be said about Ek Omkar. And maybe it may take years, months, one lifetime. But even in this lifetime, if we can know Ek Omkar, we will be free. We will be like the ocean, which is infinite depth, deep. We will be like the sky, where the change takes place, but the sky is forever. Where things are happening, but yet everything stays. Where the joy, celebration of life is felt in its being. I would thank you for your presence today and look forward to next week. If you have any questions, you want to say something or improve my talk, I would love it. Thank you so much, and I invite you all, whoever wants to say something, please raise your hand and we will unmute you. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Ek Omkar Satnam. One small request, I am not Guruji, I am seeking to become a Sikh. Guru is far from where I am. So I would request I'm like one of you, one of us. Maybe worse off. I'm seeking in earnest what we all can find. And I'm sure your search is deeper and more sincere than mine. So I am not Guruji. If I become a Sikh in this lifetime, I will be grateful to Guru. Thank you. Still, maybe a better word than Guru. Guru is too far away from where I am. Any other questions? Please, anybody would like to? Anybody would want to say or ask something? So if you want to, you can raise your hand. Otherwise, we will close the session with a small recitation of the Anand Sahib. Indrajit, we can start the Anand Sahib then? Okay. The ego makes everything difficult. It's not the creator. The difficulty is arisen from the traps we lay for ourselves. And when we stop seeing or feeling or loving. So, there are many examples of people who don't have much knowledge in the bookish way of knowledge, but who have found love within themselves. When we try and seek a deeper experience of our ego, then we want to dominate, we want to know more and dominate and use that knowledge for some knowledge or a life experience for finding happiness within this physical world. And that partly is to do with dominating the other. So the conflict within our mind finds its expression in the physical world. See, we have not found unconditional happiness. So we seek happiness by dominating the other. So sadist and masochist, the modern psychology has identified these two energy currents within us. Either we punish ourselves or we punish the other. And one of the reasons for that is because the mind is in conflict. And one of the main reasons for that is I have not found love within me. So, complication comes from the ego. The simpler life is, for example, if you go into the hills, you go into the forest, you go into the Adivasis where they live, and you observe birth and death and the way they deal with change, it'll be very different from the way we do it. They don't experience that kind of feelings which we do. We are more ego-based personalities. But they live through it, they live through the pain, they accept the pain, and then they go beyond it. Their ego is not as structured as ours is. And there rests the problem. We actually are trying to find a deeper experience of our ego and yet find permanent peace. So we discussed this in the last session. We are all looking for happiness and happiness forever. And we are trying to seek that in the ego world where it doesn't exist. That's the complication. If you're finding something which doesn't exist at some place, it will leave you frustrated, it will leave you upset, it will leave us incomplete. It will leave us forever seeking and never finding our answers. That's how it is. That's not how the Creator has made us, but that's how we make ourselves. The ego makes ourselves. Ji. There are two other questions. What is the correct way to read correctly Gurbani? I think Santhya is the word we use for that. You have a lot of those Santhya sessions on YouTube also. But one of the essential aspects of reciting or knowing Gurbani or getting closer to Shabad is having a stable and focused mind. So finding that stable mind is important for the experience of Shabad. I want to know each and every word, meaning for JAPJI Sahib part with detailed explanations. We will do word by word, literally, when we go into the JAPJI, and we have done 2 words today. They're words, but they are more sublime than words. So we will go into those experiences as we go along. But the core question of the JAPJI, which Sahib puts towards us all, is Kiv Sachiara hoiye, Kiv tu kude tutte pal. Basically meaning, how do I meet my Creator? Now, my submission to you is that my question or not? Because if it is not, then I actually will not be seeking that answer. When this becomes my question, then the answer will come with more intensity than I think it will, no, otherwise. The question is the beginning of knowing the answer. But I am asking a different question in life, and yet I want to experience Bani. I think you understand what I'm saying. I am looking at, say, money, power in the physical world as my seeking. But the Gurbani, in its real form, is not actually, part of it. Whatever we ask from it, we will go towards that. Jo mange Thakur apne te, soi soi deve. But what is the ultimate experience which Bani gives us? It's a meeting with our Creator. It's the Naam within us. Is that my seeking? Because if that is my seeking, then Gurbani will give us those sublime answers which are very relevant to us. Its absolute connect will happen. But if my question is seeking something else, then that absolute connect may not happen. Ji. All right. I think I have addressed all the questions. We can start the Anand Sahib. Wanted to understand, what does Gurbani suggest about finding the purpose of life? At times when you feel lost, purposeless, what should be the path? You really want an answer to that? Is just a flash of a thought away. When you're purposeless, the purpose sits within us. हमारी मूंद लिए दरवाजे, बाज ये ले अनहद बाजे. Shut your doors which go outside the physical world. Moond liye darwaze. Let your energy go in. Baaj yele anhad baje. And the celebration will begin. Then the questions will drop and only celebration remains. Is it necessary to sit for Naam, Simran, or can we do it walking or working? There's no one shoe which fits all. In the beginning, it may be very important for us to have a physically stable state of being, of sitting and doing Simran. But when we are adept, then there is another state which happens where Simran becomes part of me, my entire being. And whatever I may do, it's at the back of my mind. It's always there with me. So initially, yes, we need to give space, create a space, devote time, sit properly, sit in attention. But later on, there's no binding on space, posture, time. It becomes part of our being. But till then, to walk that path, we need to initiate ourselves somewhere. Hartej Datta. Ji. Anand Sahib, we start now. Anand Sahib is the Bani we sing end of every session, end of every good or bad in the world. For us, Anand is the experience of life. People may define it, life as good or bad. But if we open the doors, we find Anand. Thank you. Thank you for today's session. I enjoyed it a lot and meet you. In you, I meet my Guru. Thank you. महाराज जी कृपा है. जी, थैंक यू. हाँ जी, आनंद साहब.